Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So me behind the desk today, we're gonna get Ian hitting some shots. So back on popular demand, PlaneMate 2.0.
Yes.
So I know you and guys tested this a couple years ago when it first came out, the PlaneMate, the original version.
Yep.
I know it was a very, very popular training aid. I think it was voted #1 training aid at the PGA Show the year that it came out.
It was, yeah.
Tons of professional golfers, amateur golfers, beginner golfers kind of got on board with it. I used it quite a bit when I was kind of recovering from the wrist surgery that I had, just to get the body moving a little bit more, and had a lot of success with it. So be interesting to see and kind of go over some of the new updates that they've made to it this year.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I remember seeing this when Martin Chuck, Mr. Tour Striker himself, and David Woods, when they launched it, and they kind of done a bit of a subtle soft launch on their Instagrams. I kept seeing it pop up and them talking about the benefits of this kind of, resist, relax, rotate, the kind of 3 tags that they've got for the 3 steps to the process. And I kind of thought, that's really, really cool. I mean, when you look at the normal amateur golfer and kind of the inside with the kind of over the top move and all that sort of stuff, and thinking to myself, like, how well it held together the sequence or the swing in correct sequence. I thought that sounded like something that would really be very unique, but it wasn't until actually trying it in person could I get a feel for how effective it was.
Yeah, and that for me was what I noticed. It really holds you accountable. It gives you that feedback that you really need. It tells you if you're doing it wrong, because it's hard to even make contact if you're doing it wrong. So
yeah, that's exactly right. I mean,
and I think that's a good thing with all good training aids, is it needs to give you that feedback, that instant feedback where it tells the story for you rather than you scratching your head trying to figure out what you're doing wrong. So,
totally, yeah.
So kind of walk us through what you like about it, would you say?
Well, there's some things with it with regards to, well, first and foremost, again, we talk about the 3 steps. So first and foremost for me, back to our videos with our good pal Drew Cooper about trying to create a little bit more urgency to the backswing, a little bit more force. So the idea is that you've got a slight amount of pressure, about 1 pound of pressure on the band when you're in the address position. And then obviously you're trying to create that kind of width, and you've got a little bit more kind of energy being pumped into the backswing. So that's the first part. And I don't always have that, and there's some people who'll maybe get a little handsy and maybe could be taking it back in there, and they don't really engage the body or the muscles, and that kind of leads to this kind of disconnection, and the swing just gets off on the wrong foot. And like any other chain, I mean, the golf swing is a kinematic chain. The links in the chain get broken when the early part is out of sequence and isn't really functioning properly. So I love that firstly about it. Secondly, the relax part. So you've kind of created this width and you've created this energy, and then you're kind of, in the golf swing, you're going to want the big muscles to then start the downswing as you land back in the left side. You really do nothing with this up here. You let it be, and that's where somebody like Drew is so impressive, because you literally feel like the club is up there for days as this is all going that way. Right. And you see all this energy being stored, and it's just, the club is up there. The PlaneMate really helps you with that. And then the final part, which is crucial, is the rotate. Yeah. Right? So you've kind of got the resist, relax, rotate, and then it puts the golf swing into 3 perfectly sequenced pieces. And then over time, the feeling that you get from having the PlaneMate on to having it off is, the first few swings, you still feel like you've got it on. Yeah. It still feels like you have those forces against your golf club, and it's very easy to make that swing. Yeah, I know the first time I put it on, that was the first thing. As soon as I took it off, I was like, I feel like it's strapped to me. Totally. It really gets you moving the right way. And I think for most people, just that rotation, keeping everything sequenced is pretty impressive what it does. Totally. So the 2.0 this year, they've made some subtle adjustments, just made it a little bit better in terms of the fit of it. It's going to fit a wider range of players. I know they had some issues with junior golfers, different sizes of people just fitting it. So this year's model is definitely going to be a little bit better for all varieties of golfers. You kind of are this is something that you would use a lot in terms of your golf game. Definitely. There's some things in my golf swing. I mean, like, one of them's right here. I mean, this is I call this the glue that holds my swing together. Yeah. Like, when I get out of sync, I'm using the smart ball. I actually wore my last one out. Literally, I had used it that much. I actually wore through the smart ball. and it ended up, it burst because of that. But this is another thing that I could use as a device to just hit reset. If I get off in my swing and things like that, and I start feel like I'm just, I've got different rates of speed happening with my hands and my body, and I'm not really synced up, I'll go back to the PlaneMate and just hit some small shots, just get the rhythm again, then start getting up into the bigger swings, and then ultimately making some full cuts at it to the point where I feel like everything is in motion. And we'll see it once it's on. I mean, it gives you the feedback instantly. Like if those hands are working at a rate that's going to overtake the rotation and the band ends up on this side of it, I mean, it should be on the trail side, and you should have the rotation where it keeps the band over here. But if you've got too much flip or release in your golf swing, the band will literally flip over into the other side. I mean,
it's uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable, and it can be frustrating, and you can get acquainted with the hosel a little bit, with some of the iron shots.
Yeah, I think that's what I noticed first time I put it on. I was straight shanks for the first 10 minutes until I got the feel of sequencing it together properly.
And that's what happens when you don't rotate. When you don't rotate, so this is coming down, right? And unless you rotate and you turn the corner with everything, this is still going to come down. And if you're not turning, it's got to go somewhere. It's going to go away from your body.
Right.
It's going to go that way.
Yeah.
So the hosel is just going straight and making a beeline for the golf ball if you do not have the rotational element to kind of keep the whole thing turning through. And that's what you see, the beautiful finish of people like Rory McIlroy when he's hitting those little sawn-off flighted shots. I mean, you see how low those hands stay through the follow-through, and how much they cover it. Talk about getting that kind of right shoulder down and on top and all those nice sort of checkpoints. The PlaneMate helps with all of that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so what we'll do is let's get you hit some just normal stock shots.
Okay.
What club do you have there?
I've got a little 6-iron.
All right, so we're gonna put the pin at 180. Let's get 5 or 6 shots at that pin just with your stock 6-iron.
Okay.
Really nice. That's pretty much like a smooth 6-iron for you.
Yeah, so it's with the PlaneMate on, I'm not going to be able to make a full swing at it, and I think to show a kind of before and after, it's important we do it at the same speed. I've got an access to speed on that type of swing that I won't be able to make the PlaneMate motion at my normal speed just yet. But yeah, that's about what it looks like. And for those of you who have been on with us on the channel for a while, that dynamic lie angle, how toe down that gets, that's my signature that I've kind of stopped rotating a little. I'm trying to manage the club face by pulling up a little bit. It's not quite went in the proper sequence. Something that does hinder me, not so much on flat lies, but when we start getting maybe the ball below the feet a little bit. So when the ball, is below the feet in a little sort of decline lie angle, that 4 can become 8.
Yeah.
Right, and then if we take that lie angle and keep tilting it that way, it's just pointing the face further and further right. It's a big problem. So it's not really about what it does here. It's about on the golf course and situations where I have to remind myself that I'm a 4.4 toe down player.
Right.
Which is a big problem.
Yeah, definitely.
So again, another thing I've seen more and more with my irons recently, a little bit open face. And with that toe down and an open face, you never want to see two problems compound. If your face is a little tendency to close, which mine used to be, and it's toe down, that's not bad because they kind of work to counter each other.
Right.
And I don't like to see an open face and a toe down. It just means I'm going to miss it further right than I really should.
Yeah, it's going to go right and keep going right.
Totally.
Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, let's get you strap it on here. So for anyone who doesn't know, it comes with 3 different cords. So we have, that's like a full swing cord for kind of like a mid iron, would you say?
Yeah, so this is, I would normally go like 6 or 7 iron.
Yeah.
If I'm using this one. You've obviously got the other 2 there for
So the red is
driver.
for more of like a driver, woods, longer irons, and then the short green is more of a short game, chipping.
So I got this at the weekend. I actually hit a couple of balls with it at the weekend.
Perfect.
Familiarised myself with it. I think the last time I tried it on the channel, I had it on upside down. So nice to have it on the right side this time, and the rail and the trail side. And yeah, the boys sent me a nice note. Said, "Oh, I really appreciate you reviewing the PlaneMate. You just had it on backwards."
You had it on lefty version.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
So yeah, so that's it. Rail on the trail side, clip on the trail side.
Not too tight. He was very,
Yeah.
the clip, don't tighten the screw too much.
You don't want to over tighten it.
You don't want to
because it will break.
Yeah.
Again, I think to the 2.0, what's different? I think there's been lots of little subtle upgrades, and this seems to me like, you know, little upgrades like on the clip and on the belt. It's just they've just taken what was a phenomenal product and upgraded kind of everything.
Yeah.
Stitching, quality of everything. And
It looks a lot better, more durable.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously a lot of feedback, and like anything else, it's not like the guys who are running, you know, various versions to try and see what the failure rate was, you know, at certain points. They made a product they thought would help the industry. It did, and then they got some feedback and refined it. That's the way these things goes.
Yeah, and there's no reason to change it because it's a great product that works. So, all right, same thing. I'm just gonna switch the club here.
Okay.
Do you want me to put that pin?
Yeah, no, it's fine where it is, but yeah, we'll open with a few chippy ones.
Sure.
You know, you usually want to kind of get some. I mean,
just a feel for it.
100-yard one, like just literally chipping a few forward, get the sequence down. You know, I had to do that the other night. There was a few interesting ones to start with. I mean, I really do at times get those hands over rotating. So for me, just making sure that I was finishing nicely, keeping the handle ahead and the body in continuous rotation.
Passive hands and rotate.
Totally. Yeah. So objective for me being, you know, club path gets a little inside, handle gets a little bit up. I would like to see that club path get down a little bit, closer to zero-ish. And certainly the lie angle, call it for me success, would be keeping it under 2.
Okay.
I'd be really pleased with that.
Perfect.
And because these irons are 1 flat as well. So there's 1 degree within that dynamic lie angle. If I've contributed to that on the loft and lie machine, so my golf swing contributes the other 3.5.
Got it.
Okay, so we've got the resist, relax, rotate.
Ah, really nice there.
Right, not bad, but it caught with
I
my
heard
hands.
it there.
Yeah,
Backswing was good. Transition was good.
Right.
Probably got a little active with the hands. Scary close to the old hosel there.
A little
which is,
hosely.
But toe down.
Toe up.
Toe up. There you go.
That's some. I have not seen toe up in a long time.
Perfect.
That's very, very unique.
Okay.
That's great. So didn't quite have the
release.
sequence.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that was kind of something Drew said to me last time, was the sequence of what I need to kind of feel like I'm starting my body rotation a little bit earlier, and that's what will kind of keep the sequence of it together.
Sure. How'd that one feel?
Better.
Okay.
Yeah, still a little heely, just a touch.
Okay, again, toe up. So trending.
Yeah. What is that? I'm curious to you what that looks like from a rotational standpoint, because like when we see that club path, it's now out to in.
So for me, I feel like the club's exiting a little lower, lower and around your body, and it looks like you're turning through it a lot better. It almost looks like your body is turning and your arms are going a little bit more like passive, I guess.
Totally.
Like you said, your tendency, similar to most golfers, is kind of a little bit of a stand up and flip it almost.
Yep.
So that's going to, for me, looks like you're turning and rotating through a little bit better.
A little better. Yeah, I've still definitely got the rookie plates on when it comes to this thing. So like
it takes time.
Yeah, it does.
I honestly felt like I had never swung a golf club when I first strapped it on.
Was the numbers like on that one?
Again, really, really good numbers in terms of attack angle and everything. It just looks like a slight heel strike and a face open. So let's get that face to square up. Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. I like that one started a little bit more left. That was probably a little bit more out to in. Yeah, slightly more out to in, a little bit closer to the middle.
Right.
1.5 toe up. I'd say the big thing that looks like is when you turn a little bit harder, your path obviously gets a little bit more out to in rather than...
Which is wild for me. Like, I can't wait to kind of watch this back and actually see what those look like, because that's such a foreign thing for me to get that. And there's so many people message me on Instagram because they have the same tendencies and they go, what do you do? Like, how do you eradicate this this sort of, toe down issue, and I kind of go, well, it's the sequencing of your swing. I don't really know your swing to know what elements that you need to improve on, but this device is really going to give you all of it. It's going to improve your backswing. It's going to improve you in transition. It's going to improve your rotation. So whether you need it or not, it's going to give you help all over your
Yeah,
swing.
there's so many different things it can help with, which is what I really like about it. And I think which makes a really good training aid is something that can benefit a wide range of golfers, not just one dimensional kind of golfer.
Yeah.
It kind of fits a large umbrella. So
Definitely. Okay, let's switch over to...
Yeah, I'd like to see that same feel that you had in that last one there, where it's almost like a slight cut feel.
Well, that's the crazy thing, because I actually wasn't really feeling like I was cut.
It's, I think, the low hands and rotation, right?
I love it. Love it.
Yeah, really nice there.
Okay, strike was definitely better. Path was better. It was still a little bit on the...
Little toe down?
Little back to the toe down, but it felt great. It felt really, really nice.
Let's see if we can get that path slightly out then on this one.
Okay, that's down right about where I wanted it.
Okay.
Lie-wise. I thought 2 would be good today, right? Knowing that I've got 1 from the lie angle of the clubs themselves, and if I could get another 2 degrees down just within 2 swings, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
That feels like a huge win to me. I have an immediate sense of what I need to do now to rotate. Like, this feels like I could just get a stand and hit little, like, flighted iron shots very, very comfortably.
It looks like, I mean, just from the naked eye watching now, just being conscious of how much you're turning through it, it's going to help that kind of standing up a little bit, like you said, the handle raiser. That kind of
I know. I hate that. I hate that feeling like I'm kind of going that way at it, and there's nothing better than that feeling like you really get through one and the body clears. And
yeah, I think that's a huge feeling when you can feel that body totally get out of the way and feel no restriction through impact, where you don't have to do anything with the hands to square it up.
Definitely. Okay, 1.6 down.
Very nice.
On that one, so we're getting there.
I want to see 1 to 0.
Zeroed out on the path.
Yeah, 0. Exaggerate it. I think that's an important thing for people to know, is we want to exaggerate these feels, especially when you take it off. You want it to feel a little bit like you still have it on. You want to be making sure you're exaggerating those feels, because it's all muscle memory. It's going to be, it's not going to stick if you don't stick with it.
You got to remember those new feelings and sensations, the forces that are placed upon the club artificially by the device, but then naturally by the movement pattern. Totally. That's exactly what you're trying to bring as a new movement pattern to this.
For sure.
Okay, I got the path. I got a little bit toe down on it.
A little toe down. Okay, 2.9. At least you're staying in the 2s now. You're not dipping into the 4s, which is
totally.
I mean, that 1 degree, like you said, on a downslope can make a big difference.
I just want to be moving in the right direction.
Exactly.
A little open face.
Okay.
That one is the one I'm fearful of. That's the one where the toe gets down, the path gets into out, and the face gets open. Bump, bump, bump. Out
See you later.
Do it with the driver at 110 miles an hour. See ya.
Yeah.
So for me at this point, I would be in a practice session going back to this.
I would agree.
Yeah, I'd be going back in, remember how those feels were, and do like 5 and 5, like 5 with this on, 5 with it off. And I think that's good to go back and forward on that, just so you can keep ingrained it, not thinking just because you've done it a couple of times, oh, I can do it. Your body will soon forget. It's done it a lot more times the other way than it has that way.
And for me, I like to kind of take it off a couple times. If I start struggling, I'll even slow it down and do some really over-exaggerated feeling what I feel like with it on.
That's a great point, for sure.
And I think for me anyways, I find when I do things slow, it's easier for me to feel these exaggerations that you're trying to feel with the PlaneMate. So both options work well depending on who you are, and easiest way for you to remember things.
Yeah, that's definitely something I would do as well, is literally just go back to, okay, making sure, get a nice amount of resistance in that backswing, pushing it away, get it up there, relax, and as I rotate, falls behind, and obviously as we rotate on the way through.
Exactly. That had to have been close, no?
Yeah, it was pretty decent. 1.6 toe
Yeah.
down, 0.8 on the pad.
That exit looked really, really good there. Yeah, I think neutralizing that path.
Does. So still some work to do for me, but strike point wise, that is very good for me. I think, yeah, in terms of being in a more neutral position, to have a more manageable miss pattern is really good for me, taking me away from those compound problems, inside path, handle up and face open. You know, I do everything in my golf swing to get away from that.
Totally.
So it's nice to see within a few swings that really works. And I'm really encouraged actually to do some short game stuff with it as well. That's one part I never done last time. So I'm keen to get the small band on and literally just hit some lovely little pitches, because that's another where I can kind of get a little bit that way and then get the club going down there. You know, when you're trying to use the bounce with your wedges, you kind of almost want, you know, the rotation, you know, to square you up rather than kind of getting handsy with it as well and throwing that leading edge down. So I think that can really help.
Yeah, and I like when I was coaching, that's one of the big things that I would say, starting with little pitch shots for this same feel and then gradually getting into the bigger swings. It's really easy to feel on a pitch shot when you're doing things slowly like that. So I think that's where I'm going to definitely start using it myself, is the shorter little pitch shots around the green, inside 50 yards type thing.
Well, that definitely, one last little nugget that I noticed as well on that was that last swing did not feel 90 miles an hour. Like, I felt like I was still chipping them.
That's what I was going to say with it. It looked very, very connected through the ball, which obviously you're going to be able to keep that speed up where it's not going to feel like you're trying hard to keep it up.
Yeah, so yeah, that's exactly. It's not like you're forcing speed out. Speed is naturally being produced, which is what you want.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. It's definitely a training aid that I would suggest a lot of people check out. If you had a chance to maybe try it, if a friend of yours has it or something, give it a go, because I find that it is super beneficial for a large variety of golfers. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and we'll see you again soon.